Hello out there, Delta Era, and to the parents, to the community. We are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. And I know you want to know from us, where have you been? We've been in the back room. The team, we've been sitting down at the table, making sure that the quality of this podcast for the Delta Era is top notch. So, oh, wait, I'm so sorry. Happy New Year, Delta Era. Happy New Year. This is going to be a good year for you. I want you to know that. Let's put that out into the atmosphere. This is going to be a good year for you. Let's declare it and let's decree it, right? And I'm not saying that things may not occur, but what I'm saying is that we're going to make the best of 2024. So I came on here with a lot of ideas that I think that we should discuss. There's some things that I want to talk about. There's some things that I want to bring to the table, and that wait a minute. This is what we're trying to prevent, adults. This is what we're trying to prevent. We're trying to prevent this I. And I said on the last podcast that we were trying to create an environment, a community where we would be the first responders in the lives of our young people. And so in order for me to accomplish that here on this podcast, the Delta Era, I'm going to need help. And I can't accomplish this without my co-host, who is a part of the Delta Era, Kei-Lani Amira. Let's welcome her to the screen for the very first time. Hello.
Hi.
Hey. All right, that's a little bit too much, right? Because, in a minute, Delta, she's going to be like, so Nana, yo, right there. See, that's what she be doing. And she does that to me out in public. You know how rude that is? But I understand. So, all right, Kei-Lani, really, you got to be looking in the mirror. You got to check yourself out. What I'm surprised is that you don't have your phone in your hand. Where's your phone? How close is it to you? That's what I thought. See, y'all think that we just doing this to be doing this. Guess what? She is a Delta to her heart. So, Kei-Lani, before we go any further, we want to just kind of encourage you to watch our podcast. We want you to follow us on all social media platforms at IamKimDorsey.com. You can follow a lot of that's going to be going on with the Delta Era on all social media platforms. Am I right, Kei-Lani? I mean, we want the people to follow us. Listen, I want you also to understand, and Kei-Lani, tell me if I'm wrong, right? Because remember, this is not about I, this is about we, right? And we're trying to project, right? We're trying to project this environment where our Delta and our older generation are comfortable enough. So we want you to put your comments, you want to put messages in. Listen, you want to do a discovery call with myself? Listen, for the Delta, if you're out there and you say, hey, I want to do a discovery call, but I want to speak to Kei-Lani, I will see to it that she is on that call with me as we talk, because I know that there's some things that you may not feel comfortable with discussing with me. So, Kei-Lani, let's get down to it. So first of all, right, we're going to be, wait. Am I Nana or are you going to address me as Kim? Because this is the only time that I'm going to give you this opportunity. Nana or Kim? Nana. Okay. All righty. So let's just talk about a little bit about what we go through. So Kei-Lani and I are a few years apart. Just a few. Just a smidge. Right, Kei? You're supposed to be backing me up here, bro. You're supposed to be backing me up. And Kei-Lani and I, as much as we are years apart, there are things that we can agree on, and then there are things that we don't agree on. So Kei-Lani, let's talk about some of the things so that the Delta Era out there know that this is real for us. So how do we deal with, oh my God, let's talk about when it's time for you to go to bed. What time have we set in the household? We just gonna delve in because we want them to get to know you. Let's talk about what the set time for your bedtime is and the time that you choose for yourself.
You give me till 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. And what time do you feel comfortable with turning your phone off?
11:30.
11:30. So we're talking about 2.5 hours later, right? That you turn your phone off. So let me ask you this question. What causes you to ignore the rules that have been put in place for your benefit? And why do you feel the need to stay on the phone 2.5 hours past the time? Don't
Because
tell the truth now.
it's me. I'm special.
Yes.
I should get to do things that I enjoy doing.
So this is the reason why the Delta era wants to have that type of freedom with their phone because it's me. Ah, okay. So it's me. Let's address me. What else does me want besides you having an extra 2.5 hours of phone time? Matter of fact, can we negotiate that? Now, y'all are going to be my witnesses here. Let's negotiate this, Kei-Lani, right? Because we're being transparent. I say 9, you say 11:30. Where can we meet in the middle?
I'd say 10:55.
10:55. Okay, so let's try this again.
No.
If we're going to come on here to try to bridge the gap between the Delta era and a few years past your age, I'm going to reiterate that again. 9 o'clock and 11:30, 10:55 for me is not going to work. So come on, let's go.
Fine.
Let's negotiate. Because, see, what we want you guys to understand out there is that this is how this is going to work. There has to be a dialogue. It has to be two-way. Two people have to participate, sometimes even three. In the family that we come from, sometimes our conversations include the whole community. So, Kei-Lani and I are going to show you how this should be done because we want to, again, make sure that our young people understand that we want to be their first responders. Now, you see how I'm handling this? I want to address her. I want her to know that I understand the importance, right, Kei-Lani? That she's important and her importance of me understanding that Nana, hey, 9 o'clock may be too early, even though, see, what I'm doing is I'm kind of like putting what I was brought up upon, what worked for me. It may not work for her. So we want to show you how you have to begin to open up this dialogue with your children, not communicate at them, to them, but with them. So Kei-Lani, let's negotiate here. I say 9, you say 11:30, you said 10:55. I'm not in agreement with that. And I got to be honest with you, that's a little bit too late. You're getting ready to head off to high school. The dynamics of high school is different from middle school. There's a little bit more requirement for you. So let's renegotiate. Do you want to renegotiate now, or you want to think about it and let's come back to the table?
We can negotiate now.
Let's negotiate now. So I say 9. So I'm willing to give you a little bit of wiggle room. So 9:30.
10:30.
9:40.
10:20.
9:42.
10 o'clock.
All right, I'm in agreement. And we wanted to show you guys today how this works. Now, it's not going to always unfold this way. But I want to ask you, Kei-Lani, because you're Delta. Was that comfortable for you? Did you understand that I was willing to work with you, yet still be in control? Because I am the elder here, and there are some things that I do know what is best for you. Now, not all of the things that I was brought up on do I want to put upon her, because I want her to develop her own character. But Kei-Lani, from your point of view, from what Nana just did, pick that apart. Tell me how you felt. I want to know how you felt when I stuck with 9 o'clock. And then I want you to tell me how you felt when I said to you, I'm willing to negotiate.
Well, when you gave me 9 o'clock, I was not really happy about that because I'm 13, I'm getting older, need a little bit more freedom with what I do. And then when you said you're willing to negotiate, I was okay with it because, like, at least you're listening to what I want.
You said something that is so profound. You said that I'm listening. So you're saying that I heard you? And are we telling the parents and the guardians, the educators, the house of worship, even our politicians, that all you want to do is you want to be heard? So, what do you say to the parents, Kei-Lani, that are refusing to hear their children? How do we address them? What advice can you give them on today? And when you give the advice to the adults, I want to give the advice to the children. Go ahead.
For the adults, I want to say listen and understand. Because not all adults listen or understand the situation.
Go ahead.
I was smiling too much. My cheeks are twitching.
That's
Um,
it.
I don't really think I have anything else to say about that. Just listen and understand.
So understanding meaning, because I want our audience to hear what you have to say. You want them to listen, but you want them to understand. Understand what?
Understand how your child's feeling and why they feel that way.
Anything else you want to say to the parents and the guardians and the those that supervise children, even those that work in youth programs?
Mm, not that I think so. Not
Not
that I
you
can
could
think of
think of.
right now.
Well, I want to talk to the Delta era, and I want you to know that we're not so far reached. We're not without reach. We just want to understand, as Kei-Lani said, but we can't do that unless you're willing to communicate. And as we just showed you, negotiate. Not everything that we know and that you know is wrong. But what we have to do, as Kei-Lani and I are doing today, we have to have what they call a meeting of the minds. We have to sit down. You have to give us as adults the opportunity to express. Now, a man that I was just talking to not too long ago said this, that we're not old, we're just vintage. And I hope he doesn't mind me taking his quote. And I'll give him credit if I have to. And I want the Delta era to know that we're not old, we're vintage. We're a little bit more seasoned than you are, but we're willing in 2024 to hear what you have to say. And I want to say this to the Delta era because for Kei-Lani, her village goes far beyond her mother and her sister and her grandmother. There is a village out there to the Delta era that is willing to listen to you. They are willing to pay attention. I want you to begin to give us, as vintage, as you want us to give you, the benefit of the doubt. What do you mean by that? Kei-Lani said something that was so profound, and I want to kind of go back to that, Kei-Lani, if you don't mind. Kei-Lani said that she wanted us to understand, tell me if I'm wrong, Kei-Lani, that you wanted us to trust you. Well, today, we say to Delta, as being vintage, we want you to trust us. Kei-Lani, what else do we want to tell the people today? Because I see that we're focusing a little bit on communication. And I want you to know we didn't have this plan. Apparently, this is what needed to be said because apparently, this is the major dynamic that is missing amongst this generation. How do we get, Kei-Lani? Maybe let me ask you this question. How do we get our young people to come to the table? Tell me how.
Mm, I'd say when you're talking to like your kid or your grandchild or niece, nephew, just be calm with what you say and how you react to what they tell you. Because then they're going to think like you're mad at them and then they're not going to want to tell you anything anymore.
So should I, going forward with you, just hear what you have to say at first and then give my opinion? Or am I allowed to chime in when you're making valid points that I may want to address at the time? Tell me how we're doing this.
I'd say wait until I finish telling you what I say and then give in like your opinion.
How do I handle, how do I handle an individual, a young adult, that doesn't desire to meet me at the table?
Mm,
How do I get this young person? You know, a lot of times, let's just use you and I. I've come to you several times and I've said, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?" You said to me, Nana, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. And then all of a sudden, hours pass. You come to me and you say, Nana, can I talk to you? But I had presented to myself to tell you, hey, what's wrong? It took you several hours to respond.
Cause like at times I don't really know like how to like describe what I'm feeling. So it kind of like takes me a few minutes or hours to like get what I want to say and then say it to you.
Mhm. Okay. So let me ask you this question. What do you want to talk about with the Delta era since we're talking about communication? What are some of the topics that you want us to bring to the table?
Listening, understanding, and like trust, like I said before.
Anything else you want to add to that?
No.
Nothing else you want the Delta era to know? Anything personal you want to tell them? Any nuggets you want to leave with them so that they can understand the reason why you're actually doing this podcast with your Nana?
Can I be honest?
That's,
Like,
oh, by all means.
because I want to say it, but then it's gonna be like, oh, you're so silly.
No, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
wanted to join this podcast for the money.
Oh, okay. Did y'all hear what she just said? For the money. Oh, now you know what? No, that is very intelligent of you because we are going to talk about that aspect. Because right now, the Delta era have so many great ideas that we're going to be bringing to this table. And so, yes, we want to build that type of wealth, that stability. I know you had talked about, you wanted to talk about the mental health and what young people go through. And these are so many different topics that we can discuss, but we're going to talk about that money. We're going to bring some young people on here, some young people who are investing and who are building their wealth even at your age and even younger. So you heard her. She said, right, she's telling me right now, Nana, so guess what, I love you, but guess what, there's something in this for me. And that's what I love, Kei-Lani. I'm loving your honesty. And I hope that I, as your Nana, as your co-host, make you feel comfortable enough where you will continue to be honest, not just with me, not with just the Delta era, but with yourself. And that's something that we're going to address on here. Kei-Lani, you decided, and you said to me, you said, Nana, you said, I want to talk about the things that, we as young people go through, things that, we don't even share, and to hear you say, Nana, I'm ready to build generational wealth. That's what you're telling me. Go ahead and yarn. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So y'all know, right? Let's rewind just a little bit. This is the reason why we got to negotiate the bedtime. I don't let her go to bed early on the weekends. The weekends is her time. So you can tell by the yarning that she was up pretty late, right? But Kei-Lani, I am just so grateful to know that you are willing to take a stand for so many young people. I love the fact that you're willing to be the voice. I am encouraging you as your co-host and as your grandmother, as your Nana, that you would continue to speak for those who feel that they have no voice. What else would you like to leave before we end this podcast? Now, listen, I'm going to let Kei-Lani's voice be the last one you hear because she's the first voice that you should hear because it's the Delta era. But I also want to continue to let you know, follow us on all social media platforms. Kei-Lani and I have some great and wonderful things that we have set up. We're looking to possibly come in your area, right? Sign some autographs, talk to her face to face. I know, yeah, some of you going, there's some things I would like to say, but I don't want to put in the comment section. Listen, shoot us an email. Send it through Messenger, right? We're on IG. Go ahead. You can post something on there as well, and we definitely will address it. So, Kei-Lani, I'm going to bow gracefully because this is about the Delta era. Can you close us out? Give us a few of those rich nuggets as you're leaving. Yep, and subscribe. There you go. Kei-Lani, you didn't have to put it out there like that. You just blurted it on the screen. Go ahead and subscribe. I was gonna say it. Woo-ho-ho. Y'all pray for me. Y'all pray for me because I'm gonna need help with this co-host. So Kei-Lani, go ahead and tell the people what you want us to know as we end this podcast.
I'd like for everyone to know that this is a safe haven for teenagers and kids.
You heard it here. It's a safe haven for kids. See you next time.